contribuire a cambiare rotta, è questa la direzione, il cambiamento. E quindi noi proseguiamo col nostro programma e partiamo da una domanda: perché abbiamo bisogno della fisica? Ecco, perché abbiamo bisogno della fisica? Questa la risposta non ve la darò io evidentemente, ma ce lo spiega il dottore Dimitris Pallantzas, progettista certificato Passive House, fisico edile, nonché responsabile della formazione per l'Hellenic Passive House Institute. Alla conferenza di oggi non sarà presente, ma ci ha inviato appositamente un video informativo e anche formativo molto interessante, quindi vi chiedo davvero la vostra attenzione, per cui io direi che possiamo mandare in onda, in video, il video messaggio del dottor Pallantzas sulla fisica e sulla necessità di davvero agire secondo logica e natura, senza inventarsi nulla.
I'm Dimitris Pallantzas. I'm a Passive House designer, a building physicist, and today I'm representing Hellenic Passive House Institute. First of all, I would like to thank Francesco and his whole team for the invitation and their whole contribution in general to our Passive House community. I will quickly start from the first point of our presentation, which is science. Here you can see maybe the best scientists in the latest centuries that was born on planet Earth. And the one thing that unites everyone is that they never stop questioning. So the biggest achievements came up from the word why that and why that. So everything is a matter of perspective. And here we can see two different images which are from 2023, a Western family in the Western country probably, which is trying to heat their home. And one family 60,000 years before Christ, maybe in a Western country, trying to heat their home. So the question is, why a family, after so many years, 62,000 years later, needs to get warm or heat their building with the same fuel, which is wood, which is the fire. This is a question for all of our buildings and a question for us as a designers, as engineers, and of course as a users, because we're spending more than 85% of our lives inside buildings. This is the first and the only equation that you will see in my presentation, and this is the Fourier law. And the question is, when did we learn this formula? The answer is very, very simple. At the age of 1 or at the age of 2, we tried to catch something from the cooktop, and while we are having the curiosity to discover what is it, we got burned. We got burned from a metal, which is a material which is transferring the heat very, very quickly. And this is the problem when we don't want the heat to transfer from one side, one direction to the other, from one side of the building to the outside of the building. So this is called thermal conductivity, and this is the question that we are all here to answer, why in the 99% of the buildings we use materials with high thermal conductivity, like aluminum, like metals, like whatever penetrates insulation, which is a material with low thermal conductivity. So if you are engineers, or if you have clients who are asking for a building, or if you are people who are seeking for a new building or to reconstruct your building, try to go to Alps or use this example to your clients. The problem is that you are good freeze if you are not very well prepared. So the first step is that you need to use your clothes. You need to use your scarves, your jacket, and everything to avoid the heat from your body to transfer to the outside. So this is insulation. The second thing is that you need to see, so you cannot put your scarf in front of your eyes, like you cannot put insulation in front of your windows, so you need to have windows. And instead of normal glasses or sunglasses, you need to use a mask of ski to have a proper windows for a passive house. The third thing is the metal zipper. If you check your zipper, if you wear a coat or whatever, you would see that behind this zipper there is a leather. So this leather represents the thermal break. So thermal break is the solution for the thermal bridge, which is a bridge which is transferring the heat from inside to outside. So an example could be a balcony, which is penetrating the insulation, so we need to insulate the balcony as well. Maybe the 99% of the engineers do not know about thermal bridges, but the fashion designers do know. So we need to learn from them as well. So the fourth step is that we are using our socks over our trousers or our gloves over our jackets. Why? Because the heat is not transferring only through the materials, but it's transferring also through the air. So any leakage that is happening in a building is a potential and an actual heat loss. So air tightness is highly, highly important for our construction. And the fifth step is that we need in the Alps to breathe through our nose. Why? Because if we breathe through our mouth, then the air of -10 is going directly to our lungs and we would have pneumonia. But if we breathe through our nose, then we have pre-filtered air, but also preheated air through the whole system and the whole, let's say, mouth and everything before to our lungs. So this is representing the mechanical ventilation with heat recovery system, which is bringing all the time fresh air from outside to inside, but in the temperature that it's not much different than the indoor temperature. So we have that heat exchange through this mechanical ventilation. And for Greece and for southern Italy probably, the sixth principle, 5+1, would be shading. So according to these 5 steps and following these 5 principles, you would never have a problem either in Alps or in a passive house located everywhere. So, training, consultancy and certification. This is what we are doing worldwide. Training. Engineers are getting trained to design a passive house. So the normal curriculum would be like 80 hours and then exams and then passive house designer. The second thing is the consultancy. The passive house designers are appointed to be energy consultants of a project in order to achieve the passive house certification. And the third step is the certification. The certifier verifies the design phase and the implementation phase. But is that enough? Is these 3 steps defining everything that we need to do in a building, or do we have any leakages? What are the issues? And why we don't have more passive houses? Why every new building is not a passive house? The answer is not one and only, but regarding training, for example, we are trying to enlarge our courses in Greece, and we are also providing courses in the Mediterranean worldwide when we are asked to do it for architects or for big offices and companies, and to design a curriculum which is 3 times bigger than the one is existing, using our material and our experience. The second thing is the consultancy. We cannot be consultants for every single project. Francesco and his team cannot be consultants for every single project worldwide, or certify every building, or we are doing the same. So what we are trying to do is that we are, in order to tackle this issue, to create a team which is offering a one-stop shop solution and to incorporate training and consultancy at the same time. So architectural offices are coming to us and asking, okay, we are passive house designers, but we are not experienced enough, so we cannot offer, or we don't have the confidence to offer the passive house. So what we are doing is, in this particular project, we are offering consultancy, so we don't just be the consultants. We are saying, okay, use this material, but we are doing consultancy plus training. So we have workshops at the same time with the architects in order to transfer all of our knowledge to use it, in order for them to use it in the next project without us. So what this leads to high percentage of certification, strengthen the knowledge of the 95% of the certified passive house designers which are not experienced after the training, the normal training of 80 hours. Now they are experienced, we think, we believe. And the third and most important, independency from us. At this moment, all of the people that they want to design the passive house are dependent from the passive house experts. So we, the passive house experts, we need to transfer as much as possible this knowledge to all of you and to all of the engineers in order to strengthen this concept, the passive house concept. So for example, we have this very beautiful building, and from the first view you see it's not possible, too many windows, too many thermal bridges, too many volumes. So what we are doing with this architectural office is we are doing corporate meetings and training sessions to define the shading, to define the proper solution for thermal bridges, to define every key aspect we need, and to transfer the knowledge, and they, through this knowledge, will provide the ideas, like these simple details that they are providing ideas, and afterwards we are optimizing solutions. And this is a constant situation that we are trying to follow in every single project, especially the bigger ones, and to the offices, the bigger offices, that they need to have this knowledge in-house and not from external partners like us, in order to achieve more and more highly efficient buildings and more passive house certifications. In large-scale projects like Greece, USA, Germany, and all over the world, like this hospital in Greece, for example, this curved geometry is leading to these offices to be western and these offices to be northern. So in PHP, we cannot calculate the thermal comfort and the heating and cooling load that these rooms are needed. So what we are trying to do is to simulate with Energy Plus in dynamic simulation, and then to create another worksheets in the PHP to work all together in the same file, different persons, activity that everyone is able to do and to deliver. So the idea for that kind of projects is that we cannot do it, one man cannot do it. We need to collaborate, we need to have more and more experienced and well-trained people in this, and to do it all together. This is the new era of the engineering, which needs collaboration. So, the fourth step of my presentation is the non-formal education, which is leading to many key aspects. It's not only teaching children, youngsters regarding insulation, windows and heat transfer, thermal bridge, like this balcony which is penetrating the insulation, ventilation and airtightness. We traveled through a common project that we did with Francesco and ZEPHIR, which is called NZ Roadshow, to 8 cities in Greece. And one of these cities adapt the passive house concept for every new public building and every refurbishment. So awareness and training does not only lead to strengthen the knowledge and the world of passive house, but also to let's say identify new policy and let's say to convince policymakers to take crucial decisions through this small and simple experiments. So how we did it, and through this short 3 minutes video you could see what we did so far regarding training. Concluding, unfortunately, I cannot be there to conclude with all of you. I think you all have your own conclusions, why you are here, why you work, or you're related to the Passive House. But my conclusions would be that Passive House is not a market competition product because we cannot compete physics. So fortunately or unfortunately, there is no Passive House A or Passive House B that someone can sell, or green building or sustainable building or whatever. Physics is one kind of solution, and what we are offering is the best product in the market, and it's our obligation to transfer our knowledge and to deliver the best possible product. So second, Passive House is far beyond science. It's a cultural reset of the conventional thinking, which means that the era of one engineer which is doing everything, and one contractor, and one client who can decide, we are in the era of collaboration, we are in the era of communication, we are in the era of delivering, using science to deliver the best possible product. And third, Passive House is fun and serious at the same time. And it is made from people for people. And people, like all of you, are making the difference. Knowledge is power, and we are here to support all of you, because Passive House is one community which is trying worldwide to transfer knowledge and experience and to deliver better buildings for a better future. Thank you very much, Francesco, and everyone, for the invitation. I hope next time that I will be there with all of you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Grazie al dottor Pallantzas per aver realizzato questo video e averci mandato un messaggio che è abbastanza univoco. Dice: la fisica è una ed è la soluzione. Ed eccolo qui. Benvenuto, dottor Pallantzas. Buongiorno, e buongiorno anche alla nostra dottoressa Federica Caiazzo, che appunto ci darà una mano preziosissima nella traduzione. Non so se ci sente il dottor Pallantzas.
Can you hear us, doctor? Can you hear us?
Forse abbiamo qualche problema.
Hello.
Ecco.
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfetto, ci riesce a sentire.
Bene, benvenuto. Facciamo un applauso così magari arriva fino in Grecia, ad Atene, dove è in collegamento per noi. Grazie davvero per questo tempo che ci dedica. Ecco, le faccio la prima domanda. Abbiamo sentito dal suo discorso che si occupa di formazione non formale, quindi la gamification. In generale, insomma, adottate un approccio soft nella formazione, nella diffusione delle case passive, del protocollo Passive House, e pensa che sia una leva funzionale, una buona pratica, quindi un suggerimento per diffondere sempre più questo approccio in Grecia, in Italia, nel mondo?
First of all, thank you for your time today. We've heard in your speech that regarding training, you talk about the idea of gamification and in general about a softer approach regarding the information on serious topics such as passive houses. Do you think that this softer approach in teaching and training is a functional lever in attracting and approaching as many people as possible?
Yes, hi everyone, and thanks once again for the invitation. Very nice to see all of you. First of all, yes, we have been involved in many complex buildings, hospitals, difficult studies worldwide. Since these years we have been involved in also studying but also implementing Passive House project. A lot of people cannot understand the depth of the knowledge that is needed to reach these targets. So what we decide to do and what I'm trying to do is not to try to get everyone understand the complexity of the study, but to understand the philosophy behind the Passive House concept, which is worldwide and is acceptable and implementful. So this softer approach, what we try to do is to not try to convince them, but try to involve them to our ideas, to not make them feel stupid, but make them feel part of the solution. because they are the decision makers. They are the architects who will collaborate with us. They are the developers. They need to be on the same page, and the only way to make them feel that they are on the same page is to describe what is so complex in a simple manner. This is our approach.
Ok, innanzitutto buongiorno a tutti, è un piacere essere qui con voi anche se distante. Vorrei dire che innanzitutto sono stato coinvolto in diversi progetti difficili e complessi in tutto il mondo. Negli ultimi anni abbiamo anche studiato e implementato gli edifici Passive House in diverse regioni. E quello che abbiamo notato è che molte persone non capiscono la complessità relativa a dei progetti Passive House, non capiscono tutto lo studio necessario per arrivare a degli edifici Passive House. Quindi abbiamo deciso di conseguenza di cambiare il nostro approccio, di utilizzare un approccio più soft, più delicato e di focalizzarci quindi sulla filosofia del metodo. Perché il nostro obiettivo è quello in realtà di far sì che diventino parte del nostro progetto, perché sono gli architetti che collaboreranno con noi, sono progettisti che collaboreranno con noi, quindi dobbiamo essere tutti sulla stessa lunghezza d'onda e l'unico modo per poter raggiungere questo obiettivo è di insegnare in un modo più soft e di coinvolgerli.
Ecco, quindi questo è un approccio per avvicinare e attrarre quante più persone possibili. E invece rispetto all'andamento delle case passive in Grecia, qual è la situazione? Visto che abbiamo parlato, abbiamo fatto anche il quadro macroeconomico e non solo, quindi in Italia. In Grecia qual è invece la situazione?
So before we watched and talked about the macroeconomic situation, we would like to know more about the current situation in Greece, about obviously passive houses.
Yes. Obviously, Greek buildings are a lot of them built without insulation at all. So to change this is like changing the whole culture of the building sector, which is very difficult. In my opinion, especially now when NZEB is mandatory, we have different studies in different type of buildings where passive house construction, a new building, could be also cheaper. The construction, not the life cycle cost of a normal one, of a conventional one. So in my opinion, every building should and could be a passive house, even renovation or a new one. But the problem in Greece is the lack of information and knowledge. And what also you as ZEPHIR and Francesco is doing all these years and supporting everyone in the world is providing knowledge and information. And that is the most important thing to thrive. So at the moment, I wouldn't say that Greek market is expanding a lot and has a lot of passive houses. We have relatively 250 buildings, some of them already there, some of them in certification procedure. But it's growing up through our network and through our collaborators, engineers in the whole Greece who participated in seminars and workshops, and now they are designing their own buildings without need a lot of help in consultancy from us, just the certification and just second eye for more experienced engineers.
Allora, sì, sicuramente abbiamo parlato prima dell'Italia, ma per quanto riguarda la Grecia possiamo dire che pochissimi edifici hanno un isolamento, quindi è soprattutto un problema di cultura, bisogna cambiare completamente la cultura greca. In questo momento noi ci stiamo focalizzando molto sugli studi e sulla progettazione per il futuro, per poter costruire degli edifici passive house, ma quello che credo sia il problema principale in Grecia in questo momento è la mancanza di conoscenza, mancanza di informazioni, ed è per questo che nell'ultimo periodo con Francesco ci siamo focalizzati molto sulla diffusione delle informazioni e del sapere. Quindi riassumendo, in Grecia effettivamente in questo momento non sono presenti molti edifici passive house e non si ha una crescita esponenziale, stiamo parlando all'incirca di 250 edifici passive house o che sono già presenti o in via di certificazione, ma prevediamo sicuramente una crescita, soprattutto puntando sul networking con gli ingegneri, i nostri collaboratori, gli architetti che hanno partecipato in passato ai nostri workshop e che adesso stanno cominciando a progettare con l'idea Passive House in testa.
Sì, infatti volevo chiedere, ma mi ha anticipato quali sono gli ostacoli, le difficoltà che riscontrano poi nel proporre le case passive, ed ha già ampiamente risposto. Immagino che la cultura sia il primo vero, la mancanza di una cultura sia il primo vero ostacolo. Volevo quindi poi salutare il dottor Pallantzas dicendo, appunto, complimentandomi per il lavoro che stanno facendo, quindi parlava di 3 direttive in particolare: la formazione, la consulenza e la certificazione, che poi sono i pilastri di Passive House, e che stanno ampliando anche i corsi in Grecia. Quindi come vede lui il futuro? Ecco, questa è la domanda rispetto all'evoluzione, alla diffusione delle case passive, del protocollo costruttivo.
Actually, you already answered the third question, which was about the obstacles and difficulties for the passive houses in Greece. So we're going to move on to the next question. So you talked about the 3 principles, which are training, certification, consulting. And I would like to know, what do you envision for the future in Greece?
It's a very good question. In my opinion, there are 2 ways to solve the problem. Top-bottom or from bottom to top. In general, the most difficult way is from the bottom to the top. And the easiest way is from the top. So the government decides, okay, let's set up boundary conditions regarding our buildings in Italy, in Europe, whatever. But because now NZEP regulation is something which is random, in Greece it's something like A, in Italy something like different. So not numerical targets like the Passive House, which is 15 kilowatt hours per square meter per year, monitored, certificate, blower door test, everything. So this is top to bottom. Someone decides, and we need to do it as engineers and as a construction sector. But we cannot demand this, and we cannot put our effort to convince the politicians to take decisions. So we decide also to invest a lot of our energy and resources to informing and to educate, starting from universities, while we teach also in the Greek universities, engineers, big companies like architectural firms. And since we are trying to educate more and more engineers, we are able to reach more clients, because one engineer could reach 10 clients. So in order to try to convince the clients, we're trying to convince the engineers and to educate them. And this approach is the only way for us, at least in Greece, because decisions in Greece are very, very slow, at least maybe in Italy or Spain or all the Mediterranean countries, should be the primary focus of our work, to educate.
Grazie a tutti per la domanda, di nuovo una domanda molto interessante. Credo che ci siano 2 modi principali per poter sviluppare e espandere il concetto di Passive House. Uno che si può definire dall'alto verso il basso e uno dal basso verso l'alto. Quello più semplice forse sarebbe quello dall'alto verso il basso, ovvero dove un governo implementa e stabilisce degli standard da dover seguire, solo che in questo momento la regolazione NZEP è molto aleatoria. In Grecia abbiamo magari una A che corrisponde a certi standard, in Italia i requisiti e i criteri sono diversi, quindi può essere difficile trovare una uniformità. Per quanto riguarda quindi l'approccio dall'alto verso in basso, c'è qualcuno che decide e poi noi in quanto ingegneri o architetti e via dicendo dobbiamo applicare queste decisioni, ma è difficile richiedere ai politici di fare queste decisioni, di prendere queste decisioni, quindi la nostra energia in questo momento viene canalizzata sull'informazione, sulla diffusione di conoscenza con le università, soprattutto in questo momento in Grecia, come dicevo, con gli ingegneri, con gli studi di architettura, perché noi vogliamo puntare sugli ingegneri, di modo che loro possano in seguito puntare sui clienti. Se noi formiamo un ingegnere, magari quell'ingegnere poi potrà informare altri 10 clienti. Quindi noi cerchiamo appunto di collaborare con gli ingegneri per espandere la conoscenza anche a un pubblico finale. Quindi questo sarebbe invece l'approccio dal basso verso l'alto, quindi partendo dagli ingegneri ad arrivare a uno standard più elevato. Perché usiamo questo approccio? Perché in Grecia le cose vanno molto a rilento. Non so se la stessa cosa vale anche per l'Italia e la Spagna, però è difficile portare dei cambiamenti in Grecia, e quindi è per questo che noi crediamo sia molto importante focalizzarci sulla divulgazione e l'informazione.
Ecco, siamo in chiusura. Nel salutarlo volevamo chiedere se vuole fare un saluto ai presenti, anche al team di ZEPHIR, visto che è qui presente, che nel passato hanno condiviso anche dei progetti molto ambiziosi proprio in termini di formazione e informazione.
So now this was the last question. We are now closing our meeting with you, but we would like to know if you want to say hi to our team and Stefano and ZEPHIR, with whom you collaborated with on very ambitious projects in the past.
Yes, thank you very much. Grazie mille. Amazing interpretation from you as well. Thank you, Francesco, and the whole team. Francesco is one of the most innovative persons I ever met in our community. We're very lucky, and you are very lucky that he's Italian. Since many years, have participated in many conferences and with all of the teams worldwide. And I can tell you for sure that ZEPHIR in Passive House Italy is one of the best regarding scientific knowledge in the world, and get as much as possible from them, because you will for sure be able to learn more and more things.
Allora, come avete potuto sentire, ha innanzitutto detto grazie anche in italiano, abbiamo ricevuto una partecipazione fantastica da quello che vedo. Grazie Francesco, grazie a tutto il team. Vi posso dire personalmente che Francesco è una delle persone più innovative che io abbia mai conosciuto. Negli ultimi anni ho partecipato a molte conferenze, ma posso dire con certezza che ZEPHIR in Italia ha veramente una delle migliori conoscenze scientifiche in tutto il mondo, quindi cercate oggi di trarre più che potete da loro in informazioni, perché sicuramente potrete imparare tantissimo.
Bene, allora grazie al dottor Pallantzas. Noi vogliamo anche fare con questo applauso i complimenti per quello che stanno facendo in Grecia.
We want to congratulate for what you're doing in Greece.
Perché sono molto bravi anche loro. Ecco, vogliamo ricambiare assolutamente questo apprezzamento.
Because we also want to congratulate on the good work that you are doing in Greece.
Con i tanti
Grazie
saluti
mille.
di ZEPHIR, chiaramente.
With the help also of ZEPHIR.
E del direttore. Grazie ancora.
Thank you again.
Grazie mille. Goodbye to everyone. Thank you very much.
Bene, buon lavoro e grazie alla dottoressa Cagliazzo per il supporto preziosissimo anche quest'anno alla conferenza.